Hey, welcome back. Today we're working on the control sticks, the control column, and the sticks themselves. The sticks are pretty plain. We actually got a little bit done on these. My hard drive filled up and I didn't get everything filmed, which sucks because we did a good amount. First actual rivets going in. First thing we did was we assembled this. This is the control column bracket, and these are the control stops for the elevator. The entire control arm assembly sits here, then of course rotates back and forth for elevator and these pivot left and right. Over here at the fuselage, I'll show you where this control bracket goes. It goes right here on these 4 tabs, just like that. The control arm sits right there, goes through that bearing, or I don't remember exactly what they call this, but so it goes through this. We had to drill that hole out, and then we'll back drill through the other tab, through the other side of this, and the pilot side, which is this side, will sit just inside this, like so. Might not have to sand that down. We'll have to wait and see once we get it tightened. That might need sanded just a little bit. Seems to be pretty free right now, so we'll have to wait and see once we get a little closer. So one of the first things they want us to do on step 15 of the control column is to fit these over the control pivot arms. That's this right here. They want us to be able to fit this over just like that. This one I've already done a little bit too, but it seems to fit just fine. But I'm gonna show you on the next one exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm just cleaning up this edge from where it was machined. It was pretty rough. You can see they're pretty marred up and pretty nasty. So on the outside, I'm just gonna take this Scotch-Brite pad, rotate this around a little bit and try to clean that up so it's not as sharp. There's a big old burr right here that I'm gonna carve off really quick. In the directions, they say to remove powder coating from this until the control stick fits, but the control stick seems to fit on there no problem. Both sides, so it doesn't matter which one. The co-pilot side, I'm actually got some pins on order and I want to make it removable. Not everybody is going to want the control stick between their legs, like my wife on long trips. If we like go to Idaho or even down to like Vegas, where it's going to be a couple hours and she just doesn't want to deal with it, I can just pop the pin. There'll be a plug for the push to talk. I'll unplug that and just pull the stick right out. I actually got the idea from Scott. He owns a Kitfox, and I got the pleasure of riding with him at the Kitfox rally, August of 2019. We went up through Yellowstone. Beautiful flight. Great time. There were, I think, 12 of us that went out. The winds were pretty bad, or else there would have probably been more. But he removed his passenger stick, didn't even bring it. So on the control column, to bring you up to speed a little bit on what we've done, we had to fit that pivot arm in, and it's kind of a big deal. A lot of people complain about it being really tough. What we had to do to get that in there is, you can see on this side, there is a good amount of material inside this. The manual refers to it as a boss, and it's basically a welded bushing that's going to hold a bearing in place. On this side, to get that in, I don't know how well you can see it, but I had to file a significant amount of material off that edge, and then we still scarred that up pretty good getting it in there. I've painted it and cleaned it up a lot so it doesn't corrode. But the first thing the manual wants us to do is put a bearing inside that side of the boss. Got the first one in, about to start number 2. Got the holes ground out, and I'm going to Loctite the bearings and install it. There we go. All right. Both of those are now installed. Hey guys, the next step is to take these screws and thread them into this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole back here. The directions also state to tap these to 10-30 seconds to remove the powder coating. I don't have a 10-30 seconds tap. So I'm gonna set these screws off to the side for now, and we'll tackle that in a second. Next up is to take the control horn that goes in between the 2 pivot sticks and put the rod ends on with the check nuts and measure that to 18 5/8 inches from center to center. Here we go with the next step, guys. Got the rod ends measured correctly, and to install it, I have to install these 2 washers on each side of this rod end. And the directions mention that if you take just a dab of super glue, you can super glue these on. And I do mean literally just a dab, just a little bit, so that these are held on. I don't want any in the rod end itself. Okay, now I should be able to slide a bolt through there, no problem. And those should stay on when I fish this guy down through here. That's the plan, anywho. Welcome back, guys. Let's get to work.
That's it?
No. I just wanted to make it loud.
That's what they've been waiting for. All right, Bill. All right, bye.
Welcome back, guys. Out here today again with Caleb, and I got a bunch of reaming done. off camera. Trying to think what else we did. I got this mostly put together. It's the aileron idler bell crank. When I went to put the mounting bracket on the control pivot tube assembly, I got a little aggressive with it and I broke the bushings that sit inside of here. It's my first broken part so far, like truly broken. And thankfully it was only a $3 break and not drilling through the acrylic bubble doors where it's like a $300 break. So can't be too upset about breaking that. It's just having to wait 4 days for those bushings. It just paused this step, so we're moving on to the elevator bell crank elevator idler is what it's called. So we're moving on to that, and Caleb is pushing the first bushing now, just using the vise to just push them in on the sides. Oh, he's already done with it. Look at that. So I was just informed that the metal shavings from drilling and otherwise milling iron, or not iron, but metal, is called Swarf. I don't know why it's called Swarf. It's just what I've been now informed. So I'm going to now forever refer to it as Swarf because that word is hella fun to say, Swarf.
So
Because I can.
when you put a bolt in that has a hole for a clip in, think about where you want it when you put it in before you put the nut on. Because once you put the nut on, you can't see the hole anymore. So like, if you want it straight up and down, put the bolt with the hole straight up and down.
Okay.
So you know where your hole is and you can line the nut up.
Okay.
If you want it straight, like if you want it forward or like in a direction of rotation, like just keep that in your mind as you're putting the bolt in. And you want it. Those dikes.
I don't know if I want to use dikes.
Yeah, you do. All right, so use the dikes and tap the head to get it as seated as far as you can in there.
Okay.
All right, and then what pliers do you have that aren't these?
Those over there.
You have
I don't know what they're called.
Right.
What are they called?
So drink
Okay.
So take these, grab the long end vertically, if you can.
Straight below it, right?
Yeah. Grab the long end vertically, pull down, and while putting that tension, move like this to bring it up. If you can't go vertically, hold the pliers horizontally, but do the same
Here?
concept. Yeah.
So down.
Yeah, pull down.
And then
Fold it up.
like that?
Right, so from there, before you do anything, cut the excess off the top. Make it kind of flush with the bolt.
Like right there?
Alright, yeah, that's good enough. And then use the dikes, tap it, and try and fold it over the edge so that you can't get your finger on it.
Can I go take a little more off?
Hold on. So, oh yeah, you didn't take enough off. You want it so it's like
Almost
where it's
against the
bending right
threads?
there. Yeah,
Right there?
right there. That should be good.
And then
Yeah, tap on it. And then with the bottom piece, you're probably gonna have to cut it first because you want it, like you don't want it scratching up against here. So,
just take a little bit off.
well, take off enough. You want it at least going over to the base of the nut. If it goes a little bit further, that's okay. But you want it as close to, like you kind of want it so it touches the washer. So fold it down a little, and then like you could use the screwdriver to try and press it. You can use this flat tip, and you can try and like press it.
Yeah.
And then after you have it kind of flush, grab these again, open them up, and then put one end on the top, and then one end on the split pin, and just squeeze it. I don't know about Imperial stuff, but like with Airbus, they have specific lengths of split pins so that you almost never have to cut them. Sometimes you do. Like basically if you do this with these, if you do this with it, squeeze it, so that way it gets flush up against the end, and it helps, it prevents the top part from popping back out while you do it.
Like this?
I would do it from the side.
Like here?
Yeah. Because you're trying to get that whole piece flush with the nut.
Yeah.
bend it, do one, Cleco it, and then do the other.
Yeah, I said there's a couple different ways you can do it.
I think that's the way we should do it.
Okay.
That would make me feel the safest. And then Monday, when Brandon gets back to me about the play, if he says it's fine not to add another washer, I can.
There should be. I'm pretty sure.
We got some more of the flight controls done. It's looking really good so far. I had to send a question to Brandon at Kitfox, and I'm going to post it on the forum as well, along with another question. The one I'm sending to Brandon is a translation of the directions. It's like, it's asking for minimum play, and I don't know if that is like truly minimum or they want 0 to none. And if I add a washer, I can get no play with the same amount of force to move the entire assembly. So we're gonna wait to see what he says there. The flap linkage comes here to this, well, I guess actuator. I'm not sure how to say it. So the flaps get controlled here, bring it this way, here on this one, and then the ailerons come up to this pivot point here. This entire, what's it called? Idler bell crank is extremely tight. So I'm gonna ask on the forum if it's meant to be tight or if I need to potentially bend these out a little bit so there's less force on the bell crank itself, because right now you can see even with the bolt in there, they're bent out just a little bit, which is causing a lot of friction on this bushing at the top of this bell crank. The other thing we're waiting on Brandon to answer, and that I'm going to post as well, is right here. This will, in a certain position, there's play right there. But here, there's no play. So I'm gonna ask Brandon about that. It's because of this entire assembly it's, I wouldn't say it's binding, but it's still just a little tight. So I just wanna ask and make sure that that's normal, because I'm not sure how much force it should take. It's been about 1.5 years since I've flown a Kitfox, a little more, and I only flew it for like an hour. So we just did, we put it temporarily in place with Clecos, so we can pull this out and add a washer if we need to. So this is split pinned on this side, and we just haven't put the split pin in yet. These are torqued down and good to go. This shouldn't have any bearing on this. So here's the pivot arm assembly that we got done as well, and I just wanted to show that to you guys completed. It's ready to go in the plane. I'm just waiting on a couple parts that I manhandled and unfortunately broke. They were brass bushings. They're very soft, and this, when I was pushing it through, got a little bit off center, and it popped one out the side and cracked it real good. They're on their way, and it'll be taken care of. Until then, I can't put it in the plane. So we moved on. We got some of the other stuff I showed you already done, ready to go. And once this goes in, it'll all kind of just fall in, ready to go. Some of the other things I wanted to highlight on the co-pilot side, here's the pin that I wanted to use for the co-pilot. So this stick is removable. Unfortunately, with the pin in, it's not as tight as a bolt and a nut, because the nut pulls it together and keeps it like there's no movement up or down, left or right, no movement at all on this one. On this one, there's a little side to side, and there's thankfully no up and there's a little up and down, but it's not much. But there's a little bit of side to side play. For a co-pilot, I don't think that's a big deal to gain the advantage of quickly removing this without having to buy a bunch of these lock nuts to keep on stock when I wear one out after 1 or 2 uses. What I ended up having to do with these, because the ball on them, I have a couple extras here I can show you maybe here. So the ball on these is very small, and it's a GoPro, so it's probably not going to focus right. Oh well. The ball on these is very small, and because the hole isn't drilled perfectly in the aluminum, if it's turned slightly, it'll just slide through. Or it doesn't slide through, it just catches, and then it could vibrate through. So I drilled through with the drill press, and what I'm going to do is lanyard in a diaper pin with some like either string or safety wire. I just safety wired it now to keep it on there. Thanks guys for coming along. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, say so in the comments. If there's anything you didn't like, please let me know. I'm trying to improve enough that I feel comfortable live streaming something, even if it's a couple hours on a Saturday, like early afternoon. And feel free to like the video and subscribe if you want.